The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor 2019-2020 revealed that there are 4 times more early stage entrepreneurs in South Africa than established business owners. As such, it's vital for this disparity to be addressed and small and medium enterprise owners to be assisted to grow their enterprises into fully fledged businesses. Joining us to discuss the challenges that small business owners face is marketing manager at Retail Capital, Kate Williams. Kate, good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, and thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure, Kate. What is the significance of this Global Entrepreneurship Monitor? What does it say?
So, I think it's saying what we all already know. It talked a lot about how small businesses contribute significantly to GDP and, to at least sort of 50% of the employment workforce. But what we didn't know until we saw that survey is that there are 4 times more early stage startup businesses than there are established businesses in South Africa. We'd always known that there were a lot of small businesses and that have contributed significantly to our economy, but we didn't know exactly, the level to which there was such an entrepreneurial spirit in the country. I think was very surprising for us.
And what are some of the challenges that these early stage entrepreneurs will be confronting now?
So, Retail Capital exists purely because the biggest challenge for a small business is cash flow. And what makes it even harder for small businesses is to get access to any kind of funding. So we exist for that very reason, is to ensure that small businesses are given access to funds that they need. And once we saw that survey, we very quickly moved to launching what we call Symmetry, which is our small business insights tools and services hub. Because what we realized once we started funding businesses, and we've funded over 28,000 of them now, is that cash flow is the main challenge that they face, but there's also an array of other challenges that they face. Things like, not really understanding how to market your business, not really understanding what tools and services are at the disposal of the small business owner. I think a lot of the time we find that small business owners are, in inverted commas, a jack of all trades. They're not only the business owner, but they're the accountant as well. They're the HR person. They're the marketing person as well. And unfortunately, to date, there's been quite a gap in services and tools that have been available for those businesses. So, the first thing that we addressed was the funding, and now we're moving on to tools, services, insights, webinars, freely available, and really bespoke services that are tailored towards small businesses, as I said before.
So how, Kate, then can small businesses take advantage of these tools and services that are now part and parcel of the newly created Symmetry Hub?
Symmetry Hub is free to join, so my advice would be to go to symmetryhub.co.za. There's an array of free material, so articles, like I say, free webinars. The other thing is we also have a hub of service providers that are bespoke to small businesses in South Africa. So HR tools, for instance, accounting packages, marketing packages that are fairly priced for the small business owner to be able to almost hand over the admin and be able to run his business to the best of his or her ability.
Is there also networking supports with other small businesses as well? Will that be beneficial, do you think?
Yes, so we see that as being crucial to the success of small businesses in South Africa, and therefore on the Symmetry Hub itself there is networking opportunities, so small businesses can genuinely connect with each other and grow their businesses together, which we think, like I say, is fundamental.
It's one thing having access to these tools and services. There's often been the criticism that South Africa is not a business-friendly environment. Are there still many of those particular challenges that small businesses face?
So we find that a lot, and I can't really speak to the legislation because it's not my area of expertise, but what I can speak to is funding, for instance. So again, that's obviously the business that we're in, and the reason why we exist is because traditional business loans are not set up for small businesses. There's too much red tape. They take too long. They require too much security in the way of assets. They rely businesses to have been in tenure for far too long. Um, so yes, absolutely. I would say that I agree with you in the sense that South Africa is not small business friendly, which is surprising. Taking into account the fact that they contribute so much to our country. And yes, those are the gaps that we're trying to plug now.
And in terms of the funding, I mean, as much as it is difficult in a traditional sense to access that funding for small business owners, what makes it easy, if I can use that from a retail capital point of view, to make that investment?
So we are a turnover-based funder. We don't require any collateral. We don't require the business owner to have been in business for any more than 6 months. Whereas a traditional loan, you'd have to be in business for a year. You'd have to own your premises. A lot of small business owners don't own their premises, they rent. So it's all of those sorts of things that we look at that you don't need with us. And how we structure the funding is on a turnover basis. So we essentially advance you your future turnover and take a fee from that, and that's how we make our money.
Kate, lastly, what is your advice for small business owners wishing to grow their businesses?
Yeah, I think COVID-19 has had a massive impact. I think specifically on small businesses, and it's really important for small businesses to understand that there is help out there. I think my advice would be put effort into marketing, figure out how to stand out from the crowd. If you don't know, look at the Symmetry Hub. There's great tools and advice there. The second thing is, don't be scared to take out a loan or a cash advance, which is what we do. As long as you've got a really good strategic plan in terms of what you are going to do with those funds, and you can see a growth trajectory for your company, do it. And the last thing I would say is just keep learning, watch those webinars, keep in the know, keep networking, all of those kinds of things, and just realize there is help out there.
Kate Williams, Marketing Manager at Retail Capital. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Kate.
Thanks for having me, Benito.
The Honest Truth with Benito.